Hey Lori, I was just thinking that Dave is leaving tomorrow. Maybe we should go do a nosy neighbors?
Let's do it, but this time I will say you interview and I actually record.
I can do that.
Okay, let's go.
Perfect. All right, let's check and see if Dave is home. Hey Dave, your nosy neighbors are here.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hey, your nosy neighbors would like to see the inside of your rig.
Sounds great to me.
All right, cool. Do you want to do outside first and then we'll do the inside?
Sounds good.
In case we lose some daylight?
There we go.
All right, cool. We'll meet you up front.
Okay.
All right, so as you guys can see, Dave has wheelchair access in his coach, which is really cool. But when he's just here by himself, he doesn't usually use this door. So he comes out through this door. Lorena's behind the camera today, Dave, so I'm gonna be the interviewer.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about your coach. What year is it, make, model, and I know that most of this stuff is made up because you did this pretty much yourself.
You're right. It's a 2004 Volvo, and it was built and finished in 2012.
Okay.
I did a lot of the front work on it and the nose and that type of thing, and then I brought it down to a company called Quadra, and they put levelers on it for me and stretched the frame. And then from there I had gone to NRC, which was the only company that I could find that actually wanted to deal with a wheelchair lift and making something handicapped accessible.
Right. So the rig was built with handicap accessibility in mind.
Right.
I guess what we'll do is we'll start with your storage bays, show us some of the cool features. There are so many little cool things, nooks and crannies in this coach. It's unbelievable. Hopefully we'll be able to catch a lot of those. All right, because I'm new to all this interview stuff, you know, Lori's normally the interviewer, so I suck at this. Let's start off with who you are and where you're from, and then we'll get into the coach.
I'm from Minnesota, St. Paul, and I'm down here because of the racing season in February, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah, and you never got a chance to leave because of the whole coronavirus thing.
Yeah, and then I still don't want to leave.
Right.
But so anyways, yeah.
And his name is David Hoska, and you've probably seen Skinny Dave in one of our videos, the little skeleton guys running around.
I've gained a little weight since then.
Yeah, he's gained a little weight since then. So let's check out this amazing coach.
When the ramp is down and the person in the wheelchair is outside, we have the steps that actually come out and fill up the opening, and then I can use the steps, or whoever wants to use the steps to get in and out. And then we put them back, and you wheel the chair back in it, and you go up and you're done.
So this unit slides over that way?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
This runs on an air cylinder, so I have a switch that pulls that out, and then when the ramp is down and the door is shut, it seals out from any dirt coming up in the area. Other than that, there's some more storage in each one of those compartments of things that I really don't use, but if I really need them, they become kind of a bitch.
All right, yeah, I'll bet, absolutely. What do you got going on here, Dave?
Well, we got a bunch of lawn chairs back there and another small table.
Okay.
And then I block that off, and then I have a TV that goes down. So if you're at night, and it's also protected from the weather.
All right.
So there's nothing in that compartment that, if it does get wet. So the TV works on both cable and reel.
Awesome, little televator action going on there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and otherwise it's up and out of the way, and we can go from there.
Right, and you can use that for storage. Awesome, right. Awesome. Very cool.
In this compartment we got a barbecue, and it's got everything you need. We hang it all out here, and it's wheelchair height, so it would be easy for anybody to.
Yeah, so even if they're in a chair, they're down. It's down to their level where they can operate the stuff.
Right.
Awesome.
Cook the hamburgers, and of course I use every space I can. So I hang a lot of things from the ceilings if you go through the other compartments, so that you don't have to dig. And like I say, the table is just perfect for putting underneath. And that's usually our main table.
Cool. So you have like a banquet table there that comes out?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. I noticed show the paper roll, because that thing's kind of cool as well. He'll bring that out.
We have two things. One, I have things with magnets on it. And if you go down here, you can put your little grocery bags, use it for recycling and for every day. And then if you are out cooking and you need some paper towels, you got it.
That's pretty inventive there, if I do say so myself.
And it's easy to make. You can go to Harbor Freight, buy the section cup, and they have some better ones. And again, some more storage up there that I can figure out. But this kind of thing is really handy.
Yeah,
like I say, all you do is put a little metal plate down there, and then you buy a big magnet for it.
That's very cool. So what else you got going on out here, Dave?
That's about it. The generator's underneath here.
All right.
So it's away from the back of the truck where you sleep.
Okay, and if you have to access the generator, how do you access it?
I have to pull the panel off.
All right.
Every once in a while you'll blow the fuse because you've turned too many things on. And so since I did that, I moved the breaker switch to underneath so I can crawl underneath and flip
grab it. Okay.
I've done that enough times to where I don't want to take that off anymore.
All right, perfect. And what have you got going on out here? What is that antenna there?
That's my Cirrus antenna.
Okay.
And what I've done is I designed it so that there's a cap up above, so if I'm sitting next to somebody, I can exhaust my generator gas up on the roof.
Oh, okay. The generator has the exhaust up there.
Up there.
That's really smart.
And then what I do is I have a switch underneath, then I can run it out the side also.
All right, and obviously the front here, your Volvo tractor.
Mm-hmm.
And you said the tractor itself was an 04?
04.
Okay.
And it's a 12-speed automatic with a 400 horse Cummins in it.
All right, cool. And D&D, what does that stand for?
Well, D&D Engineering or Dave and Dottie.
Right. Dottie is your late wife.
Late wife, or Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons? Okay, cool. With the younger kids, we'll go with Dungeons and Dragons.
For sure.
Absolutely. Cool, good looking rig.
Thank you.
What do we got on this side?
The fuel tank is up front, which I moved from the Volvo configuration because I wanted to be able to access that. And then my house batteries are in here. And what's neat about this is you can see that I have all my tubes for the sewage in there.
All his sewer hoses are up in these, which is a really great idea as well.
It was a hole and I had to fill it.
Right.
And again, my truck batteries are in there. I have 4 truck batteries. And I also carry my additive for my diesel in there. And I also have a hose over here that I use when I go to Blackwater to dump or wherever, dump stations. And I use that hose rather than any other hose that I have. In here I have my all my power and also my house batteries. I can throw the switch if I'm having trouble with my truck batteries. I can throw the switch and actually use all 8 batteries to get the truck started if I need to. This is
your wet bay back here?
Right. And so my dump station, my fill station is pretty much there.
Cool.
Black water, gray water.
And your filter, is this some kind of attachment outside for your filter?
Yeah, that's another magnet deal. I have another steel plate in there that I can pull down. There's my magnets.
Oh, that is so cool.
And so that's my Culligan thing.
Right, right.
And
awesome. Okay, these back bays, Dave, you did a great job with organizing these. So I'd like you to show the folks how this stuff works. It's really cool.
So then it's easy to fill 20-gallon tanks. I can just go anywhere to get it.
One of the pain with our Class A's, we've got that big 20-pound tank that's up underneath, and so you have to go with your RV to the propane fill, where this here allows you to take them 1 at a time or 2 at a time. Mm-hmm. And so I love that. That's amazing.
And then I have my air hose up here. For anybody that has a vehicle that needs 120 pounds of fuel or air, I have a gauge that I put in my air hose, and then I plug that in, and then I plug my connection in.
And then you can fill tires right from
I can fill it. And so when the air compressor on the truck goes down, I open up this valve, and that allows the air compressor or the tank to empty out or get down to empty where it fires again, and then I turn this back on, and then I can watch the gauge to see if it gets 120 pounds.
Oh, nice.
And when you got those front tires, that's the only set that I need to do that.
That's really cool.
So
And the little compartments that you've made for these other
here,
up in there, yeah, those are cool.
yeah, and as I say, so you don't have to dig for things when you want to go to the to the dump station. You just pull that out, and it has everything in there that you need. You go to the front and you pick up your hoses and
you have the same thing with your fresh water and paint supplies and all that kind of stuff up there.
right, and wash and.
Very cool. Okay.
I try to keep the side of the truck nice and smooth, so I put my heater in the back, which is close to the bedroom. And of course, this has got a 30,000 pound hitch with a 3,000 pound tongue weight, so I can haul anything I want with it. And it also makes it really easy to adjust. If I have my race car trailer, I can raise it up, and if I have this, I'm going to tow my car with it, I can drop it down to the right position.
Right, very cool. So you do pull a sprint car, you're into sprint car racing.
Right.
Awesome. We don't have the sprint car here, so we can't really show you guys that, but he's a sprint car guy. It's pretty cool. So this is the trailer plug?
Yes.
All right, cool.
And then the lights, and then this is for the car if I need it. I built a giant trailer ball about 12 inches in diameter, right? So when I'm not hauling anything, I'm at an RV park, I stick it on.
Oh, that's cool.
So people say, well, you got to have a big deal to plug your trailer in if you got that ball that size.
Right.
So yeah, I don't have that with me this time, but.
All right. And of course your air, so that you could, if you're pulling a trailer that has air brakes, then you're able to use the air brakes.
Right. This is for the car, and I've got an air cylinder that goes between the pedal and the thing. It's two things with two pins and an air hose, and then the air hose goes back to the car, and that operates the brakes, so you don't have a big box or anything.
Right.
This here is used for, filling up the tires or anytime you want to use the air hose.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
Cool. That's neat, having that in the back.
Mhm.
And then we're back around to the passenger side, and we're at the back now. What do you got going on in here?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of loading up to head back to
Yeah,
Minnesota.
he's getting ready to head to Minnesota.
But what you find in compartments is that you have that nice little space, but you can't find anything to fit in it.
Right.
Everything is a different size. There's
Right.
a grease gun in there, my power cord, and
Right.
an extra water hose, and then
What did you use to make these? How are these made? Is that an aluminum frame, or
yeah,
is that
you figure it out how you want to do it, and then you go over to a sheet metal shop and say, I need a box that looks like this, and I cover everything with carpeting, and then you can buy the
edges?
the edges and put it on to kind of clean it up.
Right, but that allows you to put hoses on one level and then still have the rest of the compartment for
because
other
I
stuff.
hardly ever pull those out unless I really need it.
Right.
And then, of course, I have a flashlight in every compartment, so I never have to run.
That's way too smart for me.
And yeah, extra pins. I also have screws over here that you can use if your air brakes, you lose an air brake or something, you can put that in and loosen up your air brake so that you can at least get someplace.
All right.
And then
Oh, the important stuff.
I have a toolbox that pulls out.
And what kind of slider is that on?
Well, those
Just
are heavy duty. There we go. Heavy duty drawer slides, and I have one that goes like this, and then there's one that goes across the bottom, so that keeps it from doing that.
Right.
But every tool that you ever needed,
That's really cool.
and then I have a light up here that
So you can see your
See at
tools.
night.
Yep. That is awesome. See, Laura, I need one of those.
a light in your compartment.
But no, I just need a big ass toolbox like that.
Okay, yeah.
All right, what do you got going on in here?
Well, we got my fire starter,
Of course.
of course, and then my extension cord. But I went to a swap meet and bought, or a garage sale, and bought a little blower. So when you got your carpeting out, you need to blow something. You can plug it in, and in there I got a campfire in a can.
Right. That's
Yeah.
always nice. There are places that don't allow open pit fires.
Yeah, rather than burning up a nice piece of asphalt.
Yep. Absolutely.
And again, I've still got more room.
Now, one of the big parts of this coach, obviously, is the wheelchair accessibility. So Dave is going to demonstrate that now, and this is really, really cool.
So the ramp is different than the standard ramps they put in RVs now. I designed it and built it and put it in. It only took a couple hours to get it in after we spent several months.
I was going to say, yeah, the
Debugging
installation, but yeah.
When I first brought it home, we were going to the races, and a friend of mine came over and he says, well, you can't let Dottie roll out without any having a stop. So he drilled a couple holes and we put a stop in there, which wasn't real handy. So I'll go in and run it for you now.
Okay.
One of the reasons I designed the ramp is because most wheelchair lifts have way too many sensors on them. And this one only has like 5 or 6 sensors. We're smart enough to figure out how to run it without having to be real safe on it. So I have a switch here that raises it up. And our modification was, you'll see that that mechanism there is the stop for the wheelchair running back. And it's just, the same mechanisms that raises the ramp as the one that, so that comes out.
Sir.
So that comes out, so anybody that's in here wants to wheel out.
Right, they're not going to roll right
off
out
the
of
end.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of ruins their
Kind
day.
of important, ruins their day, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
So then with that, we have a switch, and then we have a momentary switch that runs it down. I'd like to run it faster, and I may end up doing that.
It's really, from the stuff that we saw at the Tampa RV show, it's about the norm for the speed, so.
Yeah.
But I know you're a race car guy, so you always want to go faster.
Right. I always want to finish first.
Exactly.
You know. We actually had the door company that makes all the doors for the RVs actually had to make a special door. It's a little bit wider because of
Right.
that.
Yeah, because most RV doors are not this wide.
Right. So the person would get down, and this is where the stair compartment comes out and comes across here.
Right, so that you could use it as a regular stair setup.
Right.
Not working right now, so we can't show that to you, but
The person would just lower that and roll back out.
roll on out. Or they would roll in and head on out.
No, right.
Very, very cool.
And another thing we did is that panel there is so that when you roll in forward, that there actually would be a hole back there between the frame and the lift. So we do that, and that's actually all mechanical. So when the lift comes up, it hits these blocks here and pulls it up. So there's nothing driving it. So why don't I run it back up?
Okay.
And now that's a door mode. So if we went to a restaurant or something, we could go and shut the door, and it would seal off the unit
Right.
pretty much. And so that works out pretty good.
Very cool.
So that comes out so we can use the chair at the table that you'll see a little later on here. And along with that, I need it, when the steps are out, I need a stool, so I ended up putting that there. So it's easy to get to. And of course I have a flashlight
Of course.
instantly.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So we put the refrigerator down, which is usually, in most motorhomes, they usually have their electrical panel or something underneath it, so it's raised up higher. But this way it makes it really easy for somebody in a chair to go reach it. One of the rules we had when we were building this is that whoever was going to mount something, they had to be in the wheelchair. So I left them a wheelchair there, and so they would go around and hit mount something, and they'd have to be able to reach it in the chair.
Right.
So
Very cool.
here, I made a cupboard that would go down. I'm kind of packed now because I'm going to be leaving town, but there's a cupboard for anybody who's in the chair that could go in and need to get something at least off the main shelf.
Right.
And you can still go up and get the upper shelves, but that takes care of that. And the microwave's put down below, which is the only thing I don't like about the microwave. The center button is potatoes, and so when you put the popcorn in the button and you hit the center button, which is on all my other microwaves.
Was popcorn? It's confusing.
Yeah, so that's really handy, even for me, not being in a chair. Just being able to readjust things is up here. I have my little cooktop and so that's all mounted with my fry pans underneath. And so I try to use every piece of space I have.
Under the sink is an area you can get a chair under the sink as well, right?
Right. And we can show that. Both cupboards go up and then they push back. We've
very cool.
never really used those.
Right.
But it's,
So normally you wouldn't have something under here. If somebody with a chair was in here, you wouldn't have stuff under, so they can roll up and still operate the sink and things
right.
like that.
The other thing that I did is, I've never seen anything in an RV that says that if I need to cover up the sink, I have a board down here. I have a spot down here on each side where I can take that board and put in there, so it's a place to hide.
Spot for everything. It's crazy.
So you just do that. And if you have a power chair, I'm trying to think about designing one with the use of a power chair, so that would give us extra room for trying to get in. Of course, I have drawers, and with the drawer I put a shelf on top, so if you need a working surface, and that covers up your silverware and whatever stuff.
I think I need that one.
Those are handy.
That's really cool.
And that's just that's just another drawer slide. You just gotta get somebody to, your friend that's a cabinet maker or handy with tools. And then down here I have my vacuum cleaner and 3 other drawers that I have for just throwing things into. And when I did it, I had all the drawers made so that they stick in the back position so that they don't open and close on you.
I don't know if it'll come out on camera, but if you could shine up here, Lori, the ceiling in this is really, really cool. And it makes it look like it's
My second
3
floor.
feet tall. Yeah, the second story up there, but it's really, really cool.
So when I was building this, the guys at NRC would kind of told me the story of they build these kinds of rigs all the time, and they had a rig like this going down the road, and the guys thought that was a light switch, and so the slide out was in.
Oh no!
And so the guy was sitting in the seat over here, looking out the window at the guy's mirror, and the guy driving the vehicle was looking at the guy with the slide out. So this is also a bed, and it's a hide-a-bed. It's also a recliner, so the feet rest go out. And one of the things they didn't do is if you have a slide out that doesn't go flush with the floor, I made some blocks that actually fit on the four legs, so that it actually sits. The legs are sitting at the same height as this.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's really uncomfortable.
Right.
And so some of the little trick stuff that I do with my wood, I have little corner pieces.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's very nice.
Because when we brought it in, we brought the slide. It was just a bare steel floor, and I told the guys I need to have 48 inches or 36 inches between the refrigerator and the slide. And so he put a board down, and he put the board for the refrigerator, cut that side, and then he said, okay, now we got, so if you got a handicapped accessible motorhome and you got 4 slides in it, you can't get from the back of the truck to the front or the vehicle. And then if we go on this side, again, everything here this is all 12 volt stuff and 110 volt. And these are all the fuse panels. They also have fuses that if you open them up, you pull the fuse out, the light shows which fuse is missing or blowing.
Oh, very cool.
And then I have my 110 here on both. So everything on this side is 110.
Cool.
And 12 volt.
Your Bigfoot levelers there.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then of course this is the manly section of it. The front cab of these things is always pretty cool. What have you got going on up in here?
Well, the reason I picked the Volvo truck at the time was it was the only one that a wheelchair could fit in between. So if we had 3 people in the truck, one was was sitting in the passenger seat, and then whoever is in the wheelchair would come up here, and then we've got locks on the floor, which is your standard things that you have on the vans that you Disney World or whatever. I've got a 12 speed shifter there, and I also made that so that if we're up here in the front and we need to get more space, that swings out of the way. I also have my $500 cup holders that I made. But anybody that designs vehicles that puts the your pop on the dash, and going down the road, the fizz is gone before the first 10 miles are gone.
Right.
So
that one swings.
That one there and that one out. That swings out for. So I have my standard satellite, my backup cameras. I have my tire pressure thing, and as I say, it's easy to drive. It runs good down the road.
Very cool.
And
I like the fact that, like, I've seen some of the Super Cs like this where you can't stand up, and this you can just literally turn and stand up right in the cab, which I really kind of like.
Right. And again, I've got storage for some of the. In here, I've got the camera system. The other side, I've got some pulling and gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like the marine
buttons.
Buttons, those are cool.
Yeah. You got to just remember. Every once in a while, you go down the road and one of those, especially a shelf.
Right.
And it's going bang, bang, bang. I keep this at a plating shop up in St. Paul, and so I ask people. I do work for them, and they in turn plate everything that I own. And here I have of course, my air conditioner, my generator module, or my generator itself. This is actually my control panel. People know about that. All my lighting, my black water, my gray water, fresh water, my awning, and of course I make little brackets for everything because it doesn't take long to lose something in a motorhome. The other thing I do is because of race cars, we use switches like that, and so I take all the switches that I can that are just regular push button on and off.
Right.
I just go here, and if I have any of these switches open when I want to take off the road, I just go like that, and I've got all my switches shut off. And
it kind of looks like you're going to start thermonuclear war with those.
Yeah.
Dave. Looks like, there it is, Mr. President. Flip it up.
Yeah. These connectors now that you have one plug, so I have a lot of these, or I have a couple of these plugs around where I can.
Right, your USB connectors, yeah.
And in here I have a table that I pull up, and I cam it. Shut that down. And the table is high enough so that you can wheel a wheelchair underneath it. It's a little hard for that chair that I have, and I might do something about that. But yeah, that's a nice table to, have dinner with or work on.
Workspace, absolutely.
Beautiful workspace. And it doesn't take up more room.
Right, no, absolutely. That's awesome.
We usually eat outside anyway, so. And in here is the TV that goes up. So I did lose some space on the inside by having the TV go up.
Right, the TV comes up from underneath, yeah.
Right. So in here we got the sink, and we got the same kind of cupboards that, again, if she needs to get underneath, you can not store stuff under there.
This sink is amazing.
This is a nice sink. We thought she would wash her hair, so we put the sprayer in here like a kitchen sink. But it's easier to shower instead. And this is kind of a nice little thing. It's a quick way of hiding things. When you go down the road, you just push everything back in there and close it up, and you got a nice area to work on. Here we got the roll-in shower. As you can see, so she would roll in there. Now, one of the things that I do is so the curtain goes around. Put some towels down just to kind of mop up the floor a little bit, but we tilt the truck in order to make sure the shower always drains. And those they're towel racks and toilet paper racks, but they're also grab bars. Mm-hmm. What we usually do when we're getting ready to shower, we usually run the water over there first to get it warm, and then secondly to make sure it's going down the drain. We're ready to take a shower, so if you ever see this truck kind of going like this, it's because I can push these buttons here, and I can override the levelers and actually tilt the truck over to the drain so the water always runs out.
Oh, very cool.
So that was a feature we put in at Quadra. Again, I got more storage space than I know what to do with.
There's a pocket door here. I see a door here as well.
Oh, yeah, this is for the bathroom door.
So that completely seals the back off. That's cool.
And the other thing is you can open, with the toilet being on the other side, it's a pumping type and grinding type toilet, so it runs across to the other corner, and that was one of the things that the people at NRC were a little concerned about, but they tried it. It's got enough slope, and so putting it on that side, you can just put the door about like that, and
Right.
and you don't have to worry about anybody seeing you while you're on the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have another pocket door here, which but this is something I came up with because you're always looking for a place for your brooms and your.
Lori's drooling right now.
It's my favorite, like that part right there.
And it doesn't take up very much room. I mean, you got the pocket door anyways. You just got, and for what it does for you, it's got everything you need.
Well, yeah, everybody needs a 4-foot level and a 2-foot level.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know when you got to level stuff, so you need both of those. And then, of course, you know, with the coronavirus running around, he's got lots of Lysol going on here. That's kind of nice.
And then I got a little place for the small white bags, and
Right.
And then I got the dark big black bags up there. Plus, I keep my extra coffee and stuff like that in there.
Cool. And then the hidden toilet paper roll, just in case you run out, you can remember that you've got that one roll.
More, that you don't have to reach.
More.
Then I don't have to reach too far for it.
That's awesome. That is just amazing. I like it. That's one of the Lori's biggest complaints about most RVs is they don't have any kind of broom closet where you can put a broom. And
Yeah.
of course you still need to sweep these things out. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And it's really easy to get things up. You just pull them out for your broom and your Swift mop.
Very cool. All right, Dave. This looks like this is not an ordinary bed.
It's adjustable bed. What we did is, in most motorhomes, underneath the bed is either a storage compartment or a water tank. And with that, we took the water tank and put it between the frame rails in the back, and made the bed so that, again, a wheelchair can roll right up and transfer into it.
Right.
And it's also adjustable. I mean, the back goes up. And
so you can sit right up or lay right down.
And what's nice about that is, first of all, it's easy to sweep underneath the bed, which usually collects a lot of stuff. And so that goes up, and it makes it easy to clean. And when we run the slide out, it also allows me to walk really easily between the slide out TV and that. If we go over on this side over here.
Let me get out of your way.
We go over here, of course, we got all my drawers here, and then, of course, everybody has a tailgater, so I put the tailgater up there with all my cables and another flashlight. And that's the cedar closet. And then I put these lights in, so at night we don't have the big lights on. We got the little lights that you can sit and kind of observe.
That's pretty cool.
And the lawn chair and some extra storage again. And again, some little different decoration on the top up there. We also have a TV that goes up and down, and which is nice because I can go to a rest area or something and I can open that and it'll block the window. This is all my remotes in here. So they're all kind of organized. I usually lose them in the bed though. I throw the sheet over the top of it, can't find it. But then I have a shelf out here that also pulls out. And then I can take my laptop and put it like that, and I have
use it as a workstation.
Work as a workstation. I put plastic on all the wood, so I'm trying to keep that as nice as I can.
Very cool.
So when I travel, that's down, out of the way, and so if I know there's enough room because the bed is up, that I can get on one side or the other. So if I'm at a rest area or something, I don't put my slide outs out, and so I've got access to both sides of the bed.
That's very cool.
Have room. Yeah.
And even with the foot down, and the back is up, and it's got vibration. So I don't know what this thing sounds like outside when I got the vibrators on the bed, but
so many RVs that once you put that back slide in, you cannot get around the front of the bed, or you have to crawl over the bed to get to the back, or sometimes you can't get into any of the closets. It varies from coach to coach, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So much for showing us this amazing rig, Dave. I really do appreciate it. I know it's been really cool meeting, Dave. I've been spent, what, 40 days now together. We've been quarantining during the whole coronavirus thing, so very, very cool. And appreciate you showing this. And it's really cool to see what's possible in a handicap accessible rig when you really put your mind to it and really have the engineering behind it. So very, very cool. I appreciate that. I'd shake your hand, but then people might freak out that, here, let's do one of these. We'll do the fist bump. And then I guess I can't go out through the back, so I guess I just go out through the front door.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you.
Well, thanks a lot.
Oh, watch my head. Hey Dave, your nosy neighbors are here. Oh Jesus, your nosy? Hold on a second, I said your nosy neighbors. Hold
The
on.
Nosey neighbors?
Your nosy neighbors.
Do you have a blooper deal? Where
Yeah,